always hear people say that chemical sunscreen is bad, or mineral sunscreen is the only safe option, but unfortunately no one can explain to you what they actually mean. Presuming you already have your go-to SPF, I'm not going to let you choose sides, but I am going to be breaking down what chemical and mineral sunscreen are. Hi, I'm Ariane, your skincare educator. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things skincare. Let's go ahead and start with chemical sunscreen. These are formulas that use organic carbon-based filters to absorb UV light before it can damage the skin. Instead of sitting on top of your skin like mineral filters do, chemical filters love to sit on top of the upper layers of the skin. When UV light hits them, they absorb that energy and release it into tiny amounts of heat, or lower energy light. Way too small to feel, but strong enough to stop UV from damaging your collagen or DNA. In the United States, the most common chemical filter you'll see is avobenzone for UVA, and things like octocylate, octocrylene, homosilate, and octinoxate for UVB. If you're outside of the US, you'll find some newer filters, Univar A+, and Tenador S or M, which are incredibly stable and give high SPF. Chemical filters are usually more thinner in texture. If formulated properly, they won't leave a white cast. They layer beautifully under makeup, and they also favor more and darker skin tone. A few things to keep in mind is that sensitive skin folk can feel stinging or burning from some of these UV filters, especially around the eyes. Ingredients like oxybenzone and octinoxate have raised environmental and regulatory questions, though the research in humans is still being sorted out. Every chemical sunscreen will give you instructions to make sure to apply 15 to 20 minutes before going into the sunlight, but that's slowly becoming a myth, unless it already is. Point is, your consistency would matter way more. Apply a quarter to a half teaspoon to your face and neck, and reapply every 2 hours. It is exhausting, I know, but the fact of the matter is, no matter what sunscreen you're using, all these filters degrade over time the more they spend in front of the sun. Now, if we were to compare chemical sunscreen with a mineral sunscreens are arguably more suitable for those with sensitive skin. Mineral filters use inorganic particles, mainly zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. You probably heard before that mineral sunscreen basically sits on top of the skin and scatters UV light, but new research has shown that this couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, mineral sunscreen also absorbs UV light. In fact, it absorbs about 95% of the UV light, and only 5% of that is being bounced back. Dr. Dre explained this so perfectly in one of her videos, which he basically saying like the research was already there. They only worded it a certain way to make it easier to understand. But I argue if it's hard to understand, then we can make it simpler. I can do a whole separate video on that one. I mentioned before that between zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, zinc oxide is the powerhouse here. It covers almost the entire UVA and UVB range alone, which is why you see the ingredient zinc oxide in almost every single mineral sunscreen. Titanium dioxide is strong and it's also tough against UVB radiation, but only a little strong towards UVA, which is why it's often paired with zinc oxide, but not all the time. I'm not going to gatekeep anything from you, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. There is no such thing as the best sunscreen. Despite their differences, both have their ups and downs. Mineral sunscreen is more prone to leave a white cast, and chemical sunscreen require careful formulation to get it just right. And both of them, I argue, are the most expensive step in your skincare routine. I'm always recommending newcomers to a skincare routine to save most of their money towards a sunscreen for that reason. Without it, your rest of your routine would be a waste. If you want to learn more, I wrote an entire guide to hyperpigmentation with a chapter dedicated to sunscreen explained simply. Be sure to follow me on all my platforms for more behind the scenes and skincare cheat codes that don't quite make it to this platform. And without further ado, goodbye.